My name is Claude Big Stone Sinclair, and I'm the brother to the late great Janett Sinclair.
My name is Eglon Forbes, and I'm doing here a podcast how I met the late Janett Sinclair.
Greetings and welcome to Talk True Telly. Today I will be featuring a Jamaica legend / icon, Janett Sinclair. This woman is talented and responsible for a lot of creativity in Jamaica. Speaking of the 70s, 80s, you remember Advice to the Lovelorn? Tell it to Janett Sinclair. She is the pioneer behind Mini Miss Jamaica, Miss Jamaica Teen, and Miss Jamaica Grandmother. I grew up on Janett Sinclair creativity. By the way, too much long talking. Let's get right into it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talk True Telly. My name is Claude Big Stone Sinclair, and I'm the brother to the late great Janett Sinclair. When I lost my sister, my mentor, my teacher, my guidance to death, Janett passed away in 2015. Now, to remember this beautiful sister, a sister that was very kind to me, a sister that made sure I got an education, a sister that made sure also that I did great things with my life, because she was the one who actually encouraged me to become a member of the Jamaican Defense Force. And when the money was found out to be very small, she further encouraged me to become a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, of which I served for almost 5 years. Migrated to the United States in 1980. But the work, the body of work that my sister did was what further enhanced me to come back to Jamaica and to see how much people that I personally can help. Because Janett helped so many people. She's a pioneer. She started Miss Mini Jamaica. Then she went on to say Miss Teen Jamaica. Then she went on to say Miss Jamaica Grandmother. The slot that their pastor have, which Janett Sinclair, Advice to the Lovelorn, owned that slot. She did remarkable work helping a lot of people. So today I'm extremely saddened, I must say, to all of her children, Peter Gay, Courtney, and Roxanne, and of course Paul is deceased. But to all my brothers and sisters, Glenn in particular, big up yourself, Glenn. I just want you to say that I know that we all love our dear sister, and we all miss her. The legend, the icon, Janett Sinclair. Janett Sinclair was actually born in Enfield, St. Mary, in the early 50s. As a young woman, Janett was always very independent, very intelligent, always absorbed her books. You'll be seeing her studying. She won several scholarships to the Anata Bay High School and other scholarships. At a young age, she went into law enforcement. She was a member of the Highland Special Constabulary Force. She actually passed the test for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, but she was too short. And she liked law enforcement, so she went into that. Then Janett was very innovative. She's the kind of woman that just liked to do new things. Blaze trail. She was a trendsetter, a trailblazer. So after that, she left the Island Special Constabulary Force, and she went into journalism. Now Janett is self-taught. Anything that she takes on to, she excels rapidly. She's self-taught. Highly intelligent but self-taught. And then in the 70s, when police and soldiers were giving the young ladies hell, and some of them didn't want to mind them, pit me and all that kind of stuff, because back in the days, I'll talk more about not minding their children in my situation. Anyway, Janet went, approached a Gleaner company, and she got a job in the Star. Advice to the loved one, tell it to Janett Sinclair. I felt so proud. You know, a young man growing up, I love my sister. My sister taught me a lot of things, how to become the big stone I am today. Janet did that. Anyway, Janet was getting bigger and bigger. By this time, Little John did songs about her, come to understand that Junior Reid did songs, and several of the DJ did songs about if you have any problem with your lovers up here, tell it to Janett Sinclair. So that made me feel proud. Anyway, I became a member of the Jamaica Defense Force, then I became a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. But I have to share this with you people. This is a joke. Janet was going so hard against the police officers back in the days, in the 76, 77 when I joined, that whenever I was introduced to anybody, I would tell them that my last name is Smith or Brown. Who are you? I'm Constable Brown or Constable Smith. I didn't want to let people know that the famed Janett Sinclair was my sister, and I'm a policeman because she got so hard. For those who used to read her column, they will understand that Janet goes full 100. Anyway, I became a police officer, graduated and everything, and Janet gave up journalism. As a matter of fact, Dear Pastor was actually given to Dear Pastor by Janett Sinclair because she wanted new adventures. She started Miss Teen Jamaica first. And after she started Miss Teen Jamaica, and she incorporated a lot of those stars that you see, one of them, they drew me out here, a list of the names them, because some of them become prominent people in Jamaica. And Janet just make stars. You know, I later on adapt the same principle like my sister. I like to expose talent, and Janet would put out a lot of talent. So the Miss Teen Jamaica was going great, and she said, let me do something even more. And she went to Mini Miss Jamaica. And then she said, let me do something even more. Then she went to Miss Jamaica Grandmothers. So she had Mini Miss Jamaica, Miss Teen Jamaica, and Miss Jamaica Grandmothers. Those are Janett Sinclair's baby. All right? After that, and Janet have done so much work with Miss Teen. That was her livelihood up until she died in 2015. She was actually taking care of her business, planning to keep her shows as usual. She went out and she sold some tickets to some people in Old Harbour, and on her way coming back from Old Harbour, she had a heart attack. They didn't even rush her to KP. They actually rushed her to the Spanish Town Hospital, and she was pronounced dead over there. I actually went over there to Spanish Town to identify her body as my sister. Now that is one of the most devastating things that has ever happened to me. I've lost my father, my mother, then I lost my brother. Now to lose my sister that practically put me on her lap and taught me. I remember one thing that she taught me, which I'll never forget, and I'm going to just share a little piece of it with you. It's a little poem I learned when I was about 1 year and 6 months, 2 years old. And she said, Claude, I want to teach you this poem. And she's telling me over and over till I got it. And this is what it sounds like, as taught by the legendary Janett Sinclair. Father's Day by Vivian Ross. I'd love to give my father a gift that is fine and smart. But since I have no money, I'll give him all my heart. I'll tell him how much I love him, but he'll understand the rest. As Mom says, she's quite sure. She thinks my gift is the best. Janet taught me when I was only 2 years old. So when she passed away, a part of me died with her. Even when I went to the church and did my tribute to my sister, I broke down. I'm beginning to kind of accept it now, going on 9 years later. But there's a void in my heart that can never be filled. That belongs to Janett Maria Sinclair. I just want to share this also. Janet didn't want it to be buried. She wanted to be cremated. And that was rough for me because we took her to Shootersville, myself and Peter Gay and our daughters and other well-wishers. And when we took Janet to Shootersville, and by this time she wasn't in a casket. And trust me, just to see my sister lying there and to know that they're going to put her in some fire, I couldn't deal with that. So I told Peter Gay, I said, Peter Gay, I've already seen the final of my sister. I don't want to see that part. And I just walk away. But Janett Sinclair, like I say, was a stalwart. She was a great woman. Miserable at times, so people know her and so on. But everyone in Franklinton give her the ultimate respect. Her house is still there, right? She lives off Dean Air Road, Upper York Street, and the house is right there on the corner. And trust me, I'll always remember my sister. And may her soul rest in peace. You know?
When I was a youngster growing up in the Vineyard Town section of Kingston, Jamaica, I attended the Holy Trinity Secondary School, and when I graduated in 1982, I have no employments, you know. Actually, I got one employment at Appliance Traders where I used to do vocational skill. But being there for like a year or so, I was actually abused by the senior technicians. You know, they used to talk to you some way, and you know, this was a physical, it was like a mental thing, you know, mental abuse. Like, you know, they curse you and if you're not doing the thing right, you know, and you know, so I couldn't take that. I left, you know, I was there unemployed. So idea come to me that to form a dance group by the name of we name it the Explosive Dancers. Actually, we got our first gig at a school, a barbecue on Miriam Road, opposite the Up Park camp. That's the Jesse Report Primary School, where we started to dance and, you know, spread thing in the street. And, you know, we see, Michael Jackson was very popular at the time with his songs, you know, Beat It and, Let the Music Play, and those music was popular, you know. So we actually used to dance to Let the Music Play and another song by named Rocket. You know, and we went and we went to Jesse Report and we danced, and Bagger Brown was the MC at the time, and thing went well. As I said, that Bagger Brown was the MC, and we get our gig at Jesse Report where we did quite well. You know, I could remember the voice of Bagger Brown was saying, welcome on stage, the Explosive, the A-Team, the Boom Team." You know, that was his voice. You know. And we went and we did it, and after the show, I got a call from my friend, a touch from my friend, said somebody want to speak to you, you know. His name was Tract, and he said, and he took me to this lady, and I didn't know her at the time, you know. And she introduced herself. I'm Janett Sinclair, and you know, I like you guys to dance at my show. And I said, okay. And she said, it's at Franklinton Primary. And, you know, it was Miss Such and Such Beautiful Legs, the show, you know. So we went and we danced and we did well. And, you know, at the time, she was actually helping out somebody. That's how I know she was helping somebody to keep that show, because her show was more prestige, you know. So after she told me to come and meet her tomorrow, that's the next day, at Franklinton, where she would give me my payment. So I said, okay then, Janet, and I came that day, and when I went there now, and she was making some phone calls. She was having her show, and she said, Eglan, you know that you guys could keep a show by the name of, you could name it the Eastern Dance Club Association, and we could have a breakdance show, you know. I said, yes, and she said, yeah, we could name it Break Fever 84. You know, that's how I remember exactly when that time is, because the show was titled Break Fever 84. That's when I met her. And so she said, come down tomorrow, and she called a guy by the name of Paul. Paul, who became my friend after, you know. And she called another youngster by the name of Manager. And they came, and they said, we're gonna meet up tomorrow, and you three gonna go to the bank. When I went there was no Paul or Manager. They went before me, and they opened the bank account together and left me out. She said, don't worry yourself, Eglan. I will fix their business. And you know, and meanwhile they are on the road, and I'm inside with her, and she I was listening to her how she do her business, and she said, you think you could sell this man 10 tickets? I said, I don't know, Janet, but I'll try. I was trembling, you know. I was trembling, actually, and then I did it. I sold the man 10 tickets, and the man said, send for the money, and I went and I got the money, and she gave me, and she said, that's how I fix their business. They don't want to be fair with you, Eglan. I fixed their business, and I became very great in selling tickets, you know, with the assistance of her. She teach me well, because when I'm selling tickets for show, I sell millions of tickets, you know. I sell hundreds of tickets. People used to come to me and ask me to help them, you know. Some people are down sometime, and they come and say they'll help them, and I help them, and they will pay me money, and I'll sell the tickets for them, and, you know, the show will be a success, you know. And yes, so after we sell that, I became popular, so I started to keep my own show after, you know, after she had teach me well, and I graduated from her, you know. She said, Eglan, you know that you are my best graduate. So I'm very grateful for that lady, you know. I mean, people might say things about her, but I look at the ups and downs. I look at the good side and the bad side. And I'm not even going to talk about the bad side, because what she had done was very great for a lot of people.
Advice to the loved one. How was that created? What was Janett Sinclair thinking at that time? You know, she was about 17, 18, thereabout. She couldn't be more than 19. You know, what really brought Janett to that? I think at that time, especially men of service members, policemen, soldiers, it was that era when men was very wild in Jamaica. And one man have a bag of woman, and so on and so forth. And they used to ill-treat women. You know what I mean? Some man would have 6 women, 4 baby mother, 5 baby mother, and when push come to shove, they know they can take care of their children. So at that time, it was an avenue to kind of ease the pain from some of these young ladies, because their questions would have been relationship affiliated, because most of our writers were young teenage girls. Very seldom we had a young man. So most of the letters that I get a chance to read, because she asked me to help her from time to time, were young women. And to be honest with you too, I met a couple of that young lady as a young man going through the letters of Janett Sinclair. I must confess to that. But that drive she actually got because of what was happening in that time, in the 70s.
I noticed when I read People's Problem, she not just post a letter, but she actually answers or gave answers to question and gave solution to problem. Did she get any form of education and counseling?
Like I told you before, Janett is self-motivated and creative. She's the kind of person that can just think of a situation, man, manifest it. I kind of have the same creative nature about her. She wasn't trained as a consultant, no. She didn't know anything about journalism at the time. I can remember we grew up extremely poor in the district of Enfield. So Janett didn't have any formal training in regards to journalism. And me, Pastor, was actually given that position by Janett, because I know Tell Me Pastor going on 30 years. very, very well. His number is in my phone. We called him the night of Gulliver's funeral. Matter of fact, Pastor Aaron Dumas, that's his correct name, was actually the pastor that got my brother, my bigger brother Glenn. He was the clergyman at my brother's wedding. So that is how close we are. So it's like he didn't start this great idea by himself. It was a follow-on of Janett Sinclair, advice to the loved one. That is why we have the pastor today.
When Janett Sinclair program came out, it took the island by storm. Because me, myself, I have to read every last one of them. And I never liked reading when I was much smaller. But I read that. And then when I missed her from the paper, then I saw Tell Me Past. And then I start read.
Tell Me Past.
Yeah, it's something to do. And people have some genuine concern sometimes. And I always listen to hear what Janett or Tell Me Past, I would reply, I would, oh, let me see what they're going to say about this one.
But it's not just the column that Tell Me Pastor because of Janett. It propelled into a midnight talk show that he answered the same questions that he answered in the Star column. A spin-off of Advice to the Loved One to Dear Pastor into the talk shows that he has on one of those radio stations. I think it's Power 106.
Sometimes some weird problem comes in. I was like,
Janett could solve it. She was very witty, sharp. She had a heart. She would give away everything that she earns. The people of Franklin Town can be a witness to that. I've seen Janett take up her own last money, not knowing where food is going to come from for her children, because she takes care of her children. She sends them to the best school. Her daughter, Peter Gay Foster, is an educator in the United States. Courtney Foster is also an educator. And what's her name? Courtney. Yeah, Courtney is actually a lawyer. She works for Indicom. She's one of the lawyers that works on the Indicom team. So all of Janett's children did very, very well.
but I always wondered though, why did she give up that spot in the paper? Because I was looking for her for a while and I just didn't see her. And then I just saw when Tell Me
I don't know
Past,
if there was some misunderstanding with Barbara Gluden, because Barbara Gluden was working there at the time. So I don't know if there was any conflict with her and Barbara Gluden. I cannot imagine if there were. See, Barbara is not alive now to really say anything, but I don't know if there was a falling out. I can't tell you, for real. Because by that time I was a policeman stationed at the band division.
She helped a lot of people. She used to give to the poor. She used to have people come to her house, old people. She used to give them food. She used to, the Maxwell Park children home, she used to donate to them. She used to do a lot of things, She helped us out a lot. I'm telling you, man. She let me know what money is. Because I graduated from school, I didn't have nothing, And I started to sell tickets and start to make millions of dollars. I mean, not one time, but, over a period of time, and I was, I did well. That I could send myself to America, That's where I'm at now, But that lady was a great lady, She did a lot of good things. She helped out a lot of people. She bring poor people in. She didn't mind you learn the craft, her craft. She teach you her craft, She didn't have that idea that she didn't want you to know. You understand? But sometimes it's the people around her, and the way some of them act, and some of them try to do things and they cannot do it, They don't have the ability. You understand? And they went out there and tried for themselves and failed. You understand? But I was one of them. I was one of them that excel. So when I excel in it and I have a lot of people around me, I used to pay them. That was employment. I have a lot of bearers I used to have. That was like employment, And then it sent me to America. I came up here, and then, after I heard that she came and she called me and, she asked me for anything. I give it to her, and when she went down, and she called me again and I sent it to, she said, hey, are you sure? I said, no problem. I don't forget people kindness, people that do things for me. I don't forget them, And then I used to go on the shows, myself. I used to perform away from dancing, because I learned by going to shows that she keep. I actually learned the craft of impersonation from somebody that used to work for her. But he came up and he did impersonation. So like for instance, I could do Michael Manley, I could do Siaga, I could do Douglas Valls, the Governor General. I could do those. So I used to go on my own show and I used to go on other people's show and perform because I learned the craft, from somebody that performed for her. So, I will give you a little piece though, to show you how, I've learned what I've learned from that at that time. So this is the late Michael Manley. On several occasions, Mr. Speaker, we had warned the government that we won't participate in any election until the new electoral system was in place, with the government behind our back, and they run the election, Comrade Chairman. As I say right here in the Ocean Hotel, that Mr. Siaga lied. Mr. Siaga lied on Monday, Comrade Chairman. Mr. Siaga lied on Tuesday, Portia Simpson. Mr. Siaga lied on Wednesday, Comrades. Mr. Siaga lied on Thursday, Comrade Easton Douglas. Mr. Siaga lied on Friday, Comrades. As I say, he lied also on Saturday. And when he goes to church on Sunday, he lied twice on Sunday, Mr. Speaker. That's Michael Manley in his speech. Then I used to do like Mr. Douglas Valls, And Mr. Douglas Valls said, on the wharf, we'll further 20 ton of rice to contribute to the country. And a further 20 ton to rotate the system to continue the Constitution so we won't fall under such crisis anymore. Mr. Speaker, we have taken the trip to China to export and to import, and we must trade in our raw material so that in the coming year, 1986-87, we won't fall under such crisis anymore. And that was Mr. Douglas Valls. And then we used to do the Governor General. Yes, this is the Governor General now.
I, Farzel Augustus Gaspol, do swear that I will be a true religion and serve the Queen in her honor. I now call on the Honorable Ulysses Shearer to step forward and give his applause unto the Queen. Members of the Diplomatic Corps and the Hawaii, God bless you all. Yes, man, more beautiful girls.
All right, that was the Governor General in his speech. And then we have also the likes of C.C. Charlton. We have, I used to do C.C. Charlton and, all of them. That's just an example. And Edward Siago, he said, my trip in North America was a great success. And in 1970 to 1979, the country faces financial difficulties. And in 1980 to 1985, Jamaica improved by 50%. That was Mr. Edward Siaga. No, Mr. Edward Siaga used to say, remember the downtown thing? I had that, but a long time I haven't done it, but I could catch up back on Mr. Siaga, and we also have a few more, So, that was just that idea. I used to go on the show and I used to do my thing, used to dance, used to impersonate and, and stuff like that. And, you have our groups and that we used to, perform first and, till, we did a lot, and I'm telling you, she was the architect of all of these things. She teach us all these things, you know, and let us make money. People don't know that side of her. Yeah, but I know every side of that lady, and she helped a lot of people. She let a lot of people survive in Jamaica. Yes, she did a lot
I'll
of
tell you some jokes about being Janett Sinclair, brother. First thing first, I thought Janett Sinclair was a white woman. She was light skinned. A lot of people, when I tell them that that's my sister, they say, come on. And because you have the same last name, man, you and Janett Sinclair. I know Janett Sinclair personally. She's not your sister. You're telling a lie. Plus, Janett Sinclair is white or brown skin. She's not your sister. You're too black to be Janett Sinclair's sister. All that make me feel good. But what I did not use her as a stepping stone in forming my career as Big Stone, as Claude Big Stone Sinclair. Big Stone actually come from Big Stone Records. My father was named Big Stone. But what I can tell you, I hold dear till this day. My work etiquette is Janett Sinclair. My love for people is Janett Sinclair. We came up from the same DNA. Janett Sinclair's father is Rodney Sinclair, which is my father. Janett Sinclair's mother is Pearline Leonora Sinclair, which is my mother. So we came from the same mother and father. Not a brother by a mother and your father. No, one family. We grew up together.
Being that she has these wonderful advice, how was the relationship?
To be honest with you, it wasn't good. Because Janett was extremely miserable. To be honest with you, Janett was a miserable person. Very hard to get along with. So she didn't do too well in a relationship, I must say. She didn't get married, I can tell you that. But she didn't do too well in a relationship. She was busy telling people how to deal with their relationship, while she could deal with hers.
How much kids she have?
3 daughters and a son. The son is now deceased, Paul Scott. That was like a brother to me, but he's now deceased. It's 3 daughters. Courtney Foster was a child prodigy. I have newspapers I can give you, if I can find it, of Courtney Foster on the cover of the magazine, right? Doing great things. Courtney used to adopt a lot of children home, like the Maxfield Avenue Children Home and the Curlin Johnson Children Home. She would give money to. She do a lot of things. Janett have taught her children to be entrepreneurs, philanthropists, to help people, just like what I'm doing. It's Janett. That's just she like to help people.
What level of education she have?
Brilliant. Couple of O levels, no A. Brilliant. I was when she did most of her work, I was actually living in Montego Bay at the time, so I wasn't close to her. I was a soldier then. I became much closer to her when I joined the Jamaica Constabulary Force. When I joined the Jamaica Constabulary Force and actually live in Kingston, then I started to move more closer into her. But we were very, very close as brothers and sisters.
How she was as a child? I mean, like the 3, 4, 5-year-old.
Very, remember, she is now, she was born 1951 or 52, I think. I was born 1957. So she was like maybe 5 years older than me, 6 years older than me. Bookworm. She'll fight you if you mess around with her. She's that kind of person. I remember she bite a youth on his finger when I was growing up in Edfield. His name is Dennis Lovelock. So if you ever hear this Dennis, you must remember Janett Sinclair, because Janett just didn't take any pulls. You know, she was very, very serious. And if you messed up.
Yes, sir, Big Stone. I'm happy to know that somebody who I always wanted to meet, somebody who I'm so close to their work, and I am hanging out with you for so much years, and I never have a clue that maybe if we didn't know for a long time, that it's here.
Yeah, you would,
The
because she
name
died
ring
in
a bell.
2015, yeah.
The name ring a bell, but we just now believe say you and our family.
You had she has this goddess up there.
Now I believe.
Well, a lot of people say that, and I'm going to give you, for this video, I'm going to supply you with pictures of me and her. If I can find her death certificate, or not her death certificate, or program. There's a lot of family pictures in the program. If I can find that. Plus, she have done so much work. I have a video that I did tribute to Janett Sinclair with a lot of pictures in there, a lot of her work, so you can actually utilize that video and you'll see some of her work when I paid my tribute to her.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Stone, Sir Claude Sinclair. It's a pleasure talking to my brother, Claude Sinclair. And I have so much more thing I want to ask him. Maybe I'm going to ask him off the camera. But don't think I get to tonight, because that is Janett Sinclair I talk about. But for now, I hope you enjoy. And the name is, the program is Talk Truth Telly. Keep watching. Talk Truth, Talk Truth. Talk Truth, people. Talk Truth.